Close your eyes for a moment and really imagine this. Picture it clearly. You pour years of your life into someone. You give them your nights, your energy, your loyalty. When the world is crashing down on their shoulders, you're there, lifting them up, holding space for their pain, believing in them when no one else does. You share your deepest dreams, the plans you've guarded for years, the future you've been quietly building brick by brick. You hand it all over like a sacred trust. You call them brother. You call them sister. You call them friend, the kind of friend you thought would stand by you through anything. And then, one ordinary day arrives. The sun rises the same as always, but something in the air has shifted. Suddenly, a golden opportunity appears. A promotion that sparkles with status. A financial windfall that promises security. A door that opens wide to more power, more influence, more everything they've secretly wanted. In that single heartbeat, the person who yesterday swore eternal loyalty turns their gaze away from you. They choose the light. They choose the title. They choose themselves. They walk away without looking back, leaving your trust in pieces on the floor. You stand frozen. Your chest tightens. Your heart pounds so hard you can hear it in your ears. Shock crashes over you like cold water. Betrayal burns behind your eyes. You feel the ground disappear beneath your feet. Everything you believed about people, about friendship, about loyalty, it shatters like glass under a hammer. But if Niccolò Machiavelli had been standing beside you in that exact moment, he wouldn't have flinched. He would have looked at the scene with calm, almost weary eyes and simply said, "This is not betrayal. This is human nature." Machiavelli didn't write fairy tales. He wrote reality. Centuries ago, he studied the raw mechanics of power, kings and queens, generals and courtiers, merchants and lovers, the ambitious and the desperate. He watched how alliances were born and how they died. He saw the masks people wear and the moment those masks fall away. And what he discovered was brutal in its simplicity. People are loyal, only as long as loyalty benefits them. Today they stand shoulder to shoulder with you because you are useful. You bring them status, safety, money, validation, or simply a good feeling. But tomorrow, when the equation changes, when supporting you becomes costly, when a better path appears, when your star begins to fade or their own begins to rise brighter, they leave. Not always out of malice, often just because they are human. Because self-preservation and self-interest are wired deeper than any promise, deeper than any emotion, deeper than any vow. This means that no matter where you are in the corporate world, in friendships, in family dynamics, in romantic relationships, in business partnerships, a silent game of power is always being played. You may not want to play it. You may wish the world was kinder, fairer, simpler. But the game doesn't care what you wish. It finds you anyway. Everyone around you is quietly competing for influence, for security, for resources, for recognition, for control. Sometimes the moves are loud and obvious. Most of the time they are subtle, invisible, wrapped in smiles and kind words. But the board is always there, and every single person is either seeing the board clearly or being moved across it like a pawn. One of the most dangerous illusions we carry is the belief that loyalty is permanent. We tell ourselves, if I'm good to them, they'll always be good to me. If I give everything, they'll never leave. If I trust completely, I'll be safe. These are comforting stories we tell ourselves to sleep at night. Machiavelli ripped those stories apart. He showed us that loyalty is rarely carved in stone. It is written in sand at the edge of the tide. The moment the waves of self-interest rise higher, the moment circumstances shift, the writing washes away. That colleague who celebrates your wins today may quietly undermine you tomorrow when your success starts to eclipse theirs. That business partner who calls you family may protect their own empire at the cost of yours when the numbers stop adding up. That friend who once looked at you with admiration may grow distant or even resentful when your light burns brighter than theirs. That lover who promised forever may walk away when staying becomes inconvenient. This isn't cynicism. This is clarity. This is awareness. And awareness is the foundation of real power. That's why the truly intelligent, the ones who survive and thrive through every storm, always keep a plan B, not because they are paranoid, not because they expect knives in the back around every corner, but because they understand that life is unpredictable wind. Directions change without warning. Alliances shift, opportunities vanish, people change. And the only way to stay free, to stay dignified, to stay in control of your own story is to never be completely dependent on any single person, any single job, any single path. In real life, Plan B doesn't look dramatic. It looks quiet. It looks practical. It looks like preparation. At work, it means you never stop learning. You build skills that belong to you, not to one company. You cultivate a reputation that opens doors even when one slams shut. You network quietly, not desperately. So when the layoff comes, when the promotion goes to someone else, when the boss turns cold, you don't panic. You simply step onto the next bridge you already built. In business, it means clear contracts, protected intellectual property, diversified partnerships. You never place the entire weight of your empire on one set of shoulders. You never let your fate rest in hands that can close at any moment. In relationships, whether friendship or love, it means you give generously, but you never lose yourself completely. You love deeply, but you keep your center. You build emotional independence so that if someone walks away, your world doesn't collapse with them. You cherish people, but you don't chain your happiness to their choices. And every single night, no matter how good today felt, the wise person asks themselves one piercing question. If everything I rely on disappears tomorrow, the job, the money, the person, the plan, will I still be okay? Will I still stand? If the honest answer is yes, then you have already claimed a rare kind of power. The power that doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't break when the masks fall. People who live with Plan B move differently. They speak with calm steel in their voice. They take risks others are too afraid to touch. They don't cling to approval. They don't collapse under criticism. They don't spiral when betrayal arrives because they saw it as a possibility, not a surprise. They are unshaken not because life is easy for them, but because they prepared for the hard parts long before they arrived. Machiavelli has been misunderstood for centuries. People call him cruel, cynical, evil, but read him carefully and you see something else entirely. He wasn't telling us to become monsters. He was telling us to stop being children, to stop pretending the world works the way we want it to see human beings as they actually are, flawed, self-interested, changeable, and then build our lives accordingly. Not on shifting sand, not on beautiful promises, but on rock, on preparation, on realistic understanding, on quiet, unbreakable independence. So here is the question I leave burning in your mind tonight. Where in your life are you still missing a Plan B? Is it your career, depending on one job, one boss, one industry? Is it your finances, one income stream, one savings account, no backup? Is it your closest relationships, one person who holds too much power over your peace? Is it your dreams resting entirely on someone else's support or approval? Look honestly. Because the people who answer that question today in silence, who quietly start building their second path, their hidden strength, their unseen safety net, those are the ones who will still be standing tall when the storms come tomorrow. Power is not something you take by force in a single dramatic moment. Power is something you keep day after day, choice after choice, by seeing the game clearly and refusing to stop playing it. The board is always moving. The pieces are always shifting. The wind is always changing direction. So go now. Build your plan B not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Because the prepared don't just survive the game, they master it.